Hello once again. You can't get rid of me this week. Third night in a row, I had to come and do another live because I got some pushback. I got called out in the previous read through of the document, and I was like, okay, I can handle this. But it just made me realize that when you get those kind of comments, it's very easy to be like, feel defeated and be like, oh yeah, no one's really liking this content because I'm not saying what everyone else is saying. Like, this has been my whole life, so I'm cool with it. But I think it's important that we address for anyone that didn't catch it, because I feel like people were turned off by what I was saying. I don't know why, because all I was doing was reading through the document and showing the text messages that aligned with the timeline, and somehow someone told me, and this is not someone that's been on the other on another channel, a troll or whatever, random. This was someone that was actually a subscriber, told me that I was talking shite. So I'm like, okay. There was also someone else in the chat that was saying about the body shaming and the fat shaming, saying it was appropriate for a director to be obsessing about the actress's weight and saying that's what happens in films. Yeah, that is what happens in films. That's been happening since day dot in magazines with models and with actresses. But this is meant to be Wayfarer Productions. This is meant to be about raising up women. This is meant to be about, if we just help one person out there, this is going to change lives. That kind of behavior is not given that energy. That's why it's relevant to the whole story. But yeah, I just thought it was really sad because I feel like those people got engaged. They said, I like your content and I know you're pro women, but you're wrong. And I'm like, but where have you got your information from? Because I've been following this from the start, from the point of view of this narrative was tarnished. They spent 90 grand at least, way more actually, because it was 30 grand a month for Jed Wallace and 15 grand for Tag. So they're spending 45 grand a month on a narrative, and that ain't normal. So all the people that think I'm talking shit and I've got it wrong, no, I don't think so. I haven't got my narrative from anywhere. I've just been reading the documents and using my own experience and following what's been going on. I don't really watch any of the other content creators other than Dale Wheatley, who I've already mentioned. So my brain isn't really taking on what they're saying. I only know about their content through the evidence that they were sent stuff to talk about. They were sent talking points, and people put comments in as talking points in their videos. That's what I do know for sure. So yeah, let's start with the fat shaming and the image that I posted on my thumbnail from Blake Lively's trainer. And he wrote on Instagram, there have been negative comments on this post. I think he posted a picture from the premiere. And he said, there's been negative comments on this post, negative comments sent to my wife, and believe it or not, negative comments sent to my children. To be clear, Justin Baldoni is not my client. I created a complimentary program for him as a favor to a client. So on a recommendation, that's why he wrote something out for Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni was not his client. In this timeline, he's making it look like his meeting with the trainer took priority at the pre-production stage. I have never trained him virtually or in person. I have never met him in person. We communicated. So he had a meeting. We communicated via calls and text from January to March 23. I could not accommodate his schedule and found him a coach. After an uncomfortable conversation, communication ended. Not only is Blake my client, she is also my very dear friend. She has treated me with unmatched kindness for over 15 years. So there's that. I think that covers it. I think the point that she needed to lose weight for the role, if that was indeed the case, which I very much doubt it was, then that was on her to do. That wasn't on the director to be going behind her back and making those arrangements. So that is inappropriate from the start. So let's just be clear on that. The other thing I wanted to address was it's gone. Let me see in the chat. 1 second. Oh, I'm really glad to have someone here because I thought, you know what, even if I come and speak on my own, I don't really care. It's hypocrisy. Wayfarer is performative. Their silence tells us exactly who these men are. I have a tinfoil feeling about that commentator. You mean the person in the chat? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Sorry. I know these two people that commented, yeah. They started following me when I was doing the Virginia Roberts Giuffre commentary and reading her book. And I'm like, this is what I don't get. I'm like, in that space, we were talking about Virginia Roberts' experience under Epstein, how he controlled her eating. I'm laughing because I'm like, how can you be saying, yeah, I love your commentary about Virginia Roberts and saying you sympathise, but then when I'm telling you that another man is doing it to Blake Lively, I have got it wrong. Like, that's why I was like, I'm coming back on here now, because it's really sad. It's really sad that you don't understand that this is just a woman at work that was just standing up for herself, standing up for her rights. Everything that Epstein was doing for years and getting away with is how these people are playing it. And another thing I forgot to mention, which I have in other videos, but Tag PR, all the people that worked there, Melissa Nathan, Katie Case, Carolina Hurley, Brianna Koslow, they all worked for Matthew Hiltzik, who was in the Epstein emails advising Epstein on his PR. That was their boss for years. They worked for the White House. And you all think what they're saying, what they've been doing for this man is believable. That's all I can say. I think it's really, really, really sad because there was just too much in that book for it to not be true. Okay. Yeah, you know, it's a troll strategy. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, actually. The person who it was, the first time they commented was like, I love your channel. Like, can you set up a live chat? I can set up a live chat for you and you can all come on and speak. And I was just a bit like, no, I'm okay, thanks. Like, like I've not really seen you here before. And I know how to set up my own live chat, but you know, that's how trolls operate. They act like they're your ally and they're your friend, but then they start trying to tell you what you should be saying and doing. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know, if I have to lose subscribers, I'm okay with that. I haven't. I'm still on 1.29. We're on the road to 2,000. So let's do this. The other thing I wanted to say is I got a little bit confused with the document that I was reading from towards the end, and I then realized that the brightness on my screen wasn't turned up enough. So I've adjusted that so I can actually see better. And I've also found what I meant to say. So let's get back to, we've had the first signs of harassment and hostility going on according to their timeline, and we're around the 3rd of May, which was, this is 2023, sorry, June, 3rd of June 2023. We had the mirror shower scene, and I was saying, like, I'm sure I remember something about her lawyer being involved and I couldn't find it. Well, now I can find it, and it said, so it was on the 3rd of June, and it said in the notes, it was at Atlas apartment, mirror shower scene. This would be the first nudity scene of production. This is in the notes from their timeline that they sent to their PR. That was the other thing I wanted to clarify. They used this as factual background in their lawsuit that they posted on the lawsuit info website, and I think that's where these people have got their information from. Maybe that's why they're getting angry that I'm debunking it, but you're bad. I'm sorry, you're bad. So it says, this would be the first nudity scene of production. Lindsay Gottlieb, Blake's lawyer, took issue with this, as at the time a nudity rider had not been signed. Okay? So I think I've already been over that at some point, where you don't turn up for work and suddenly get told to take your clothes off without prior arrangement in the acting business, and not when you're that status of actress as well. So again, anyone that's trying to tell me I'm talking shite, you think that's okay, yeah? You're against Jeffrey Epstein and his culture, but you think it's acceptable for a woman to strip off at work without prior arrangement. No, it's not. So that was that. And then we had the air quality thing, and the strike shutdown. And there was I think I went over the conversation about oh, you know what else I found out between yesterday and 2 days ago and today? So the rewriting. Okay, so that's what I was saying. At the beginning of the timeline, we had the 3-hour meeting that was put as the first entry into this document, into this spreadsheet. And then there was like nothing until February, when he was doing pre-production, or March. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. And then obviously there was the mention of the meeting with the trainer and the well-being coach. So the next thing we hear is that she's rewriting scenes, and the producer, Alex Sachs, is saying, this is not a good idea. But what I forgot was 2 days before that, on the 28th, He spent 6 hours on a plane with her so that they could rewrite the script. So I'm just thinking to myself, we really need to understand what this arrangement was about the script writing, because it seems to me that that was the first point where the producers were thinking, he's not in charge of what's going on here and this is going to mess up. And that woman, Alex Sachs, I looked her up today, and she is a real super articulate on the case. She has, like, her craft is film finance. She's been a film finance agent, so she completely understands every aspect of financing independent movies, and specifically movies that are developed out of books. And she's very up on script. She says that's the first process, is getting the script from the book and then getting the team together. So she really knows what she's talking about and what she's doing. So I just thought that was another little bit of interesting context, that she was aware that things were getting out of hand, and that if they didn't get it together, they wouldn't be on schedule. So let's move to 13th of June 23. We've also had the replacement of the director, which again was another thing I heard Alex Sachs talking about. So that may have been something to do with her. So we've got first AD director. Oh, wait, sorry. We've got the 7th of June. I didn't read this. I thought I had, but I didn't. 7th of June to 8th of I guess they mean June 23. Resume shooting at the Root Club due to bad air quality. So this bit is really significant because it says Justin. This is after the strike shutdown day. Justin and Alex had their thing on set. Alex insisted that JB already had the shot and did not need to do another take. JB sternly responded that I will decide. Alex ended up leaving set shortly thereafter. So now, according to their timeline, if you think about it, this is the third or fourth occasion, this is the third person that's been mentioned that's got into it with Justin. And this woman, honestly, if you watch her speaking, she's done lots of interviews. She actually had a TikTok account. She speaks about being an independent producer. She's so together, like she knows what she's talking about. I can just feel her brain power from just watching her. And she has like a very distinct accent. I'm not sure what part of America it's from, but yeah, she's someone that you are not gonna outwit very easily. So I think these guys were totally out of their depth with her. I really do. But yeah, it sounds like going back to when he was filming the bit of the transition footage of the dance scene, known as the dance scene, where it was only meant to be like seconds, and he captured, like, what was it, 15 minutes of film with when he was touching her hair and nuzzling her and the kiss and everything, and it wasn't even meant to be, there wasn't even meant to be any sound. It was meant to be just literally a transition of second of footage. That's wasting time. That's wasting a lot of time. And that was what the message, the exchange between Jamie and Alex was about. It was like, we have an intimate schedule. We can't be making changes now. And now she's saying to Justin on the set, he's already got the shot. Why is he doing it again? And he's saying, I will decide. I'm just saying. It's sounding to me like he's losing his temper with someone who's has an amazing reputation and really knows what they're talking about and has worked on other successful movies. And guess what else she said? She said she learned so much during COVID because she worked with like older actresses, so she understood the risks of their age group catching COVID. Because she said, you know, women of a certain age, if they get COVID, it can be really fatal. So I thought that was really interesting as well. She also has a reputation for delivering films under budget, to the extent that they were talking about like finance bondsmen for films. So it's like, so that the investor gets the delivery date on time, they can take out a bond on it. I mean, this is how crazy finance economy is these days. It really is extreme. There's just no trust with anything. So she's saying that because she has such a good reputation for delivery, she doesn't have to necessarily take out a finance bond for the film, because obviously that's an extra cost. And she also delivers before due dates. It just sounds like a baby, but yeah, she's got a really good record. You know what I mean? And Justin's saying, I'll decide. Because he's the boss. He's the man enough boss. 13th of June. First AD, Alex Finch and team are diligently working on plan to complete shooting before SAG strike on 30th of June 23. There's a link there. I'm not sure. I think I vaguely remember that. Do you know what? I think even, you know what they were discussing there? They were trying to get away with not being affected by the strike by saying that they were a very small, independently funded business, so they didn't have to follow the SAG rules. I mean, they wouldn't be accused of crossing the picket lines if they broke the strike. I don't know the appropriate terminology, but they basically tried to get out of being affected by the strike, and they couldn't legally because their company was too big. So yeah, I think I remember that. Meanwhile, he's saying they're working diligently on a plan. So strike shutdown is on the 13th and 14th of June. Justin and Jamie emailed the crew saying we were wrapped. The strike would not allow for us to complete production, and we were bleeding money. We were bleeding money, but he's still wasting time filming extra shots because he'll decide. And they've got this amazing producer trying to help them. 14th of June, BL flies to London, refuses to return to work. Her response at the time told us plainly. This is what I was looking for on the last reading. It's so weird how I found it. Yeah, her response at the time told us plainly that we can sue her to return to work, but she would not be happy. So they were told they could sue her to return to work because they tried to get her to break the picket line, to break the strike, when she's showing support to workers. And yet in the narrative, they've tried to turn that around. She's showing solidarity to the workers. Because she can afford to not work, and she understands her position legally because she's read her contract. Actually, speaking of the contract, I know I was saying about that. That's another thing. They had the meeting in January, and then 2 days later, they're like, can we get this contract signed? And what was agreed at that meeting, she already had another movie, but she said she wanted to do it. So that was the only time she would be able to fit it in. And then there's this rule about the 54-week turnaround or something like that. So all of these things have to be complied with. But it seems to me like Justin was under pressure because he had this short window that she had said, okay, well, if you can do it in this time, and if you can move the location nearer to where I live so that I don't have to travel because I've just given birth. Like, she literally had a brand new baby, and they wanted her on that film, so they said yeah. But they've tried to make it look like we did everything for you. We bent over backwards for you to be in this film, when they needed her in this film. Because that's the other thing Alex Sachs was saying in her interviews. It's like getting the right cast is such an important factor in how much money you're going to be allowed for the production. So it's just really interesting, because the more you look at their own messages, the more you see what really was going on there. And that explains why he was so obsessed with her losing weight. Because you can see the way his mind is working. It's thinking, oh, she's just given birth. Like, is she going to have that baby off? Like, when I'm filming her naked, is it going to be all right? He's thinking about himself and how it's looking to the outside world. But to the public, he's talking about, I'm so excited to make this movie because it's going to change people's lives. He's such a fake. And this just proves it. Okay. So she's flying to London because Blake Lively lives an A-list lifestyle. She has an actor who, she has a husband who's a successful actor and influencer. He's not my cup of tea, but I know he is because I've seen him, I've heard of his name, and I know that he's always doing stuff. And that's what happens when you when you're living in that world. And this is what Justin aspires to be. So it just seems like they're really bitter about the fact that she has other commitments, which they knew about, presumably, from the start. 16th of June, production resumes without Blake, young cast only. And then there's a little squeezed in thing that says wrap phase 1, 27th June 2023. So he's brought in the younger cast members, and obviously that was when they shot the from what I believe, because I've not actually seen the film, but there was a lovemaking sequence, and if you see his notes as well that he wrote in his own handwritten notes, they're not in here. When he went to the meeting with the intimacy coordinator, he said something about a CLIT test and how they wanted to film her having an O. And I think I've already made this point. It's like, this was 2 teenagers losing their virginity. Like, I think the average person doesn't necessarily have the most choreographed experience. I know this is all about a Hollywood movie, but yeah, it's just not giving authentic to me. You know, I think, what do I know? But this is, it's innocence, you know. I don't think he's thinking about it like that. That's just how I see it from everything I've read, as he wanted this to be a very titillating moment for his audience, which, funnily enough, because he also says how much he wanted to respect the book. And I've seen conversations between him and Colleen Hoover where he's talking about the sex and she's like, there's not really that much sex in it. In his mind, there obviously was. She was saying, in what I've seen of her messages, it's more about imagining it. That's what women want to see. But he was like, no, we want to have it graphic. We need to show it. Okay. Moving on. 8th of June, 2023. JB texts BL to let her know that it was his last day in the edit and to say happy birthday. JB texts BL to let her know, oh, they've said it twice, that it was his last day in the edit. He is really pleased with what we have so far, and shared with BL his favourite scene. Also says happy birthday. This speaks to the status of the relationship between BL and JB after phase. BL did not respond. Well, yeah, that does speak to their relationship. She didn't reply. I think she just wanted to maintain a professional boundary with this guy. That's what I think. 14th of okay, wait. Oh no, sorry. Did I say 8th of 9, 23, the birthday? I might have said the wrong date. That was in, so they've wrapped over the summer for the strike. And she has this other commitment. That's why she's in London. So now we're on 14th of October, 2023. JB sent latest approved Sony script to department heads to use for schedule and budget. IEW green script. Okay, so (26th of October). EP UFM travels to NJ. I was trying to remember who's EP UFM. United Filmmakers? 9th of November 2023. Oh, Lindsay sends confidential protection letter to Wayfarer on behalf of BL. Okay, So he's saying he sent her a happy birthday text. They've wrapped for filming because of the strike. He sent her a happy birthday text. She didn't reply. But apparently that speaks to their relationship. Then on the 9th of November, her lawyer sends a confidential protection letter to Wayfarer on behalf of BL. So now I'm thinking back to the did you speak to Steve about the comments message, and the fact that Alex had to send a message to Jenny and Blake on their behalf. And what was the other thing? She's had a bit of a set to with him about the shot length or how long he's spending on a shot. So just be honest. It's not going well for them. And now they've received this letter. And on the 15th of November, and when I say this letter, we're talking about the 17 points that was at the beginning of her CRD complaint. 15th of November, shooting pushed to January due to Blake not wanting to work, and that's written in red. 17th of November, Jamie and Justin travel back to LA. 21st of November 2023, brought on Todd Black, so that's another producer. 22 November 2023, crew informed we are pushing phase 2 production to January and prep is pushing to mid-December. 28th of November 2023, Amini and Lindsay agree via email to the 17-point protection letter. It's not signed until 18th of January, though. Oops. What did that? There's something here. Wait 1 second. Oh, shooting resumes. 11th of 12th, 2023. So this is phase 2. 13th of 12th, BL working on script revisions. It was widely understood by those in production that BL was working on script revisions, which delayed prep and expanded on budget. Now, this is the bit I don't get. Because first of all, we remember that Steve and Justin sent Melissa Nathan a message saying, oh, let's say that Ryan had to rewrite part of the script during the strike, therefore he was scabbing. Clearly that is complete lies, because there's nothing about them rewriting scripts during the strike period. In fact, he's actually moaning, saying she should have been back at work by now. I genuinely don't understand why there's so much script rewriting going on. Like, this is what we are not being given enough information on. Because there's no transparency about that. Like, they seem to have, first of all, he was mad around this time. Actually, I think I've got the email. Let me bring it up. Saying that she's ruining the film that we've spent years putting together. 28th. Okay, so this, yeah. This is the 28th of December. He has written a massive long text to Jamie. The other names are redacted, or it might be their numbers. And I think, oh, this is what he says. He says, this is what I'm sending. Hey, team. I have added in Chris Sergeant, our AD here, to have eyes on this so he can digest at the same time as all of you. I've spent the better part of the last few days trying to figure this out. Everyone knows how I feel about all this and how angry I am that the system is so broken it's letting Blake take over a film and rewrite a movie we spent years developing, writing, and funding. So yes, I am furious and sad, but I will continue to get back up with a goal of getting us to the finish line. I have come to terms with the fact that the only way out is through. I am waving the white flag and submitting. I am going to give her 98% of what she wants. I'm sure none of us have the energy to fight anymore. The team who has been working their arse off needs a shooting script on January 2nd. So here's where we are. There are minor things I did to each scene. Some I made notes on and tiny ones I didn't. Most of what I touched is below. The big issues are going to be intimacy, how and what we are shooting for those scenes, and how this script is going to be presented to her and with what notes. To that end, we all need to get on the phone and talk it through, as the risk of something innocuous or not. So then I'm trying to work out whether that was 1 o'clock in the morning and then at 9:25 a.m. Alex Sachs replied to an email on the 27th. So I think that the message I just read out was Justin's ranting to Jamie, but then Jamie had written an email to Alex Sachs and it said, hey team, attached is a revised script with the below notes caveats in bold. This is not final as there are things we need to discuss and then implement. Also, I have added in Chris Sergeant, RAD here, to have eyes on this so he can digest at the same time as us as all of you. I've spent the better part of the last few days trying to figure this out. Everyone knows how I feel about all of this and how angry I am that Blake has taken over our film and somehow rewrote a movie we spent years developing, writing and funding. So yes, I am furious and sad, but I will continue to get back up with a goal of getting us to the finish line. I have come to terms with the fact that the only way out is through. I am waving the white flag and submitting. I am going to give her 98% of what she wants. I'm sure none of us have the energy to fight anymore. The team who has been working their arse off needs a shooting script on January 2nd. So here's where we are. There are minor things I did to each scene. Some I made notes on and tiny ones I didn't. Most of what I touched is below. The big issues are going to be intimacy, how and what we are shooting for those scenes, and how this script is going to be presented to her and with what notes. To that end, we all need to get on the phone and talk through it, as the risk of something innocuous or not meeting her standards could and would very likely be used against me, as it already has. And creativity is impossible in an environment shrouded in fear. By now, we all know what she is capable of. The rest of the notes below we need to walk through together. Let me know when we can all hop on a Zoom tomorrow. I'm hopeful we can find a path forward together, but we must now act as one. So my big question is, why are we rewriting all these scenes? Like, is there something that's wrong with the script that we're not being told? That's what I don't get. It just seems like he's super angry that his version is not being approved. Brett Grace, woo! Thank you for going through all of this. Been enjoying all your lives lately. Oh, thank you. Good to see you in the chat. They didn't notify their insurance the moment a potential staffing problem. True. One letter is all it takes to put a company on notice of potential litigation claim lawsuit. Very good point there. What's this comment? Putting pressure on staff to break the line. It's so funny how the chatter is the opposite of what we're reading here, isn't it? Yeah, so I just thought the language that Justin used there was very combative and very on the offense and trying to get his, we need to work together against her. It feels very hostile. Or am I reading too much? What do you think? I just really genuinely would like to understand why they have to have all these rewrites of the script, because honestly, listening to Alex Sachs when she was talking about it, she really made it sound like that was her first port of call. Her first port of call was getting the script right. Then you get the financing and the cast and the team together. So I don't understand why someone's obviously saying this script ain't appropriate. It can't just be Blake Lively. Who gave her that power? Do you know what I mean? Or am I on my own? Okay, where were we? I mean, he has said here it's delayed prep and expanded on budget, but he doesn't seem to have an issue when he does that. BL reached out to JB to set a meeting. This is the same day as that email. BL reached out to JB to set a meeting prior to return to production. There is no mention about the nature of the meeting and what would be covered. Well, given you've just been sent that 17-point return to work thing, list of protections, and you're literally sending an email to the AD and the producers pretty much saying we're at war, I think having a meeting, I think it's a bit obvious what the meeting's going to be about. Like, obviously there's issues going on. There must be tension that Justin is not picking up on, or is he just pretending that he's not picking up on it? And then on the 2nd of January, all the LA crew travelled back to New Jersey. And on the 4th of January is when they have this meeting, this infamous meeting. So let me see if I've got any messages here to... I hope I'm remembering everything. Oh yeah, this is it. This is the Baha'i Bros group chat. So this is on the 2nd of January, 2024. And he's added someone new to the chat. We're not sure who that is. And he says, "Hey all, Happy New Year. Flying back to NJ Friday is day 1 of 17. I haven't seen Blake in person since this safety letter / accusation. Feeling all sorts of things. She used the claim / letter to gain power over the whole production." Let me try and read it in a a different tone. She used the claim / letter to gain power over the whole production, trying to find my balance of captaining a ship and leading it while it's being held hostage. How to give her most of what she wants while maintaining some of my own vision. And starting Friday, acting and working with this person who can and will use anything she can against me. It's all scary, yet I know I have protection. Starting this thread again, as I will need the emotional / spiritual support. Love you all. And so someone whose name is redacted says, "At the temple, we'll pray for you." And then Rain Wilson says, "Such a challenging issue, so difficult. I can't even imagine. Sending prayers, buddy. Just keep your focus on the service you are providing in the telling of this very important story." Adam Montachine, that's his pal who played I think I called him a gynecologist. I don't think he was actually a gynecologist. I think he was the doctor that was delivering the baby. Loved such a challenging issue, so difficult. Adam replies, "So much love coming your way, brother. Your surrender to the greater will at work and the light and mercy hidden within these many tests is inspiring. You're not alone. You're seen and you are valued." Another redacted name loved that message. My man, thank you, sir. I receive that. Love you all. Grateful I have a spiritual warrior by my side in Jamie. So am I. Very grateful Jamie is with you. Thank you, everyone, for being such an incredible group of love and encouragement, truly. It will help us get to the finish line in ways that we can stand tall. Justin is 100 going to quarterback us to the win. Sorry. No doubt. I'm humbled to be amongst you all. So I'm thinking the redacted name, it could either be his dad or it could be Steve Sarowitz. What do you think? Anyway, it's, I don't know, it's giving, you know, I'm going up against this tyrant. I need prayers. Don't worry, you've got this. You're going to do the best job as you always do. It's not giving any, maybe I need to think about what part I played in the fact that I've pissed all these people off and now I'm going for a meeting. It's also definitely making it seem like he knew exactly what this meeting was about, when in the timeline he's saying didn't know what the meeting was about. That's why I just gave you all those extra messages. So we have 4th of January, meeting at Blake's house with Blake, Ryan, Justin, Jamie, Ange, Alex, and Todd, where Blake and Ryan expressed all of their feelings. Could it be, I'm just speculating, could it be that was when Ryan said something about the fat shaming? Asking for a friend. Anyway, that's all we get on that. That's all we get on that. But it seems like the energy I'm getting from Justin is he's not showing any sort of accountability in his part. He's not showing any sign of self-reflection, any sign that he's checked himself on his behavior and thought, yeah, you know what? Maybe I was inappropriate. Maybe I am messing this up because I haven't delivered a script that is going to be approved by everyone. No, he's making her the focus of his wrath and his resentment. And not only that, but he's sending group messages about it. And he's trying to angle his position to the production staff, the assistant director, and other actors in the film. His producer, that person on the group chat, if it's his dad has a role in the film. His dad is a product placement marketing exec. Bit of nepotism going on there. No, according to his deposition, his dad was an innovator in being the one to get products placed into films. However, if you watch Alex Sachs's interviews, you'll see, because I bet you not one single other commentary channel out there that is on the Baldoni narrative side has watched any of Alex Sachs's interviews. She talks a lot about that. She says it's a big thing. The Bye Bros chat. Let me see. I can actually see your... There you go. I've actually put a comment, a comment up. Woo! Oh my God, thank you so much for the super chat. Honestly, you're so generous. I really, really appreciate it. I hope I'm giving you value for money here. But yeah, I think the point is, the accusation from Blake Lively is that there was sexual harassment on the set, which we've kind of established, and there was retaliation. And this is looking very retaliatory right now, when we're right in the middle of the production. They've only literally filmed like a few weeks. So let's continue. So we're on to... First day of phase 2, 5th of Jan 2024. Nothing's said there. 7th of Jan 2024, BL sent script revisions day before shooting. BL sent JB and production team script revision day before shooting with cuts and changes that she deems fit. This is highly irregular behaviour by an actor. This also makes it near impossible for production to be prepared when script is being changed less than 24 hours before shooting. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, because why would she send a script revision if there hadn't been a formal arrangement about it? You know, everyone has got their role in this production. She has a producer credit anyway, so she's not just an actor. And again, going back to Alex Sachs and how she was talking about how they put these packages together, that's what she called it. She's like, we do these finance packages. And having her status of actress on the movie is a big selling point for that movie. Whether he wants to admit it or not, he's not going to sell a movie like she is. Another thing that hasn't really been discussed a lot is the partnership with No More, because I think that was something they secured very early on, and No More had a lot to say. So they're not really mentioned in this timeline at all. But yeah, I just think that the idea that she's just turning up and saying, I've rewritten the script without any full prior discussion or agreement, when you've got another message that says, I don't think Ange should have told her to rewrite the script. That was months ago. Like, he should have sorted that by now. He's the director. So something's just not adding up with this. I have never directed a movie, but I don't think that, I mean, I've been in charge of like my own productions, and like, if you're the boss and you're doing stuff, then if someone just turns up and goes, oh, can you do this instead? Like, let's say I was doing a painting, yeah? And they were like, oh, I've done my own version of the painting. I'd just be looking at them like, what are you talking about? If I'm doing a collaboration with someone, and we've both agreed that, well, I'm going to do this bit and you're going to do that bit. You know, these kind of schedule issues need to be on point. And that's the bit I don't get, because everything else about Blake's conduct seems very professional. So I don't know why she would be acting out of turn unless she hadn't been given clear communication. That's the only thing I can think of. Because again, going back to Alex Sachs, every minute counts in these productions. She knows how to deliver movies before the delivery date. So someone's messed up, and given their track record, my guess is it's got to be someone at Wayfarer. 7th of Jan. Sorry, I just read that. 8th of Jan. 18th of Jan. A protection letter signed by BL. Nudity rider signed by BL. So we know what the protection letter is. Just to quickly remind ourselves. Shall I get up? Or will it take too long? Let me see if I can find it. I have a whole folder of this stuff. There you go. That's how quickly I can get it up. Okay, number 1, no more showing nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife, to BL and or her employees. No more mention of Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath's previous porn addiction or BL's lack of porn consumption to BL or to other crew members. No more discussions to BL and or her employees about personal experiences with sex, including as it relates to spouses or others. No more mention to BL or her employees of personal times that physical consent was not given in SA as either the abuser or the abused. Her driver overheard that conversation and said after that, I'm not letting you in the car with him anymore. That's how alarming it was. No more descriptions of their own genitalia. No more jokes or disparaging comments to be made to BL and or her employees about HR complaints Wayfarer has already received on set or about missing the HR meeting. We've seen that. We've seen that footage. No more inquiries by Mr. Baldoni to BL trainer without her knowledge or consent to disclose her weight. No more mention by Mr. Baldoni of him speaking to BL's dead father. No more pressing by Mr. Baldoni for BL to disclose her religious beliefs or unsolicited sharing of his. If BL and or her infant is exposed to COVID again, BL must be provided with immediate notice as soon as Wayfarer or any other producers become aware of such exposures, without her needing to recover days later herself. An intimacy coordinator must be present at all times when BL is on set in scenes with Mr. Baldoni. Well, that's the first 11. There's more, but I'm not going to go over it again. I just thought we needed a little memory refresh, because a lot of those points get forgotten. And people have said, well, where's the evidence? They all sound way too specific for her to have just pulled them out of thin air. To be honest, I'm confident that when they're asked to provide witness testimony about these incidents that have obviously caused her to come up with that list. I think they're going to get proof that it happened. That's what I think. Okay. 26th of January 2024, last day shooting in NJ. 29th 2024, director's scout. 5th of February 2024, BL sends JB and producers script revisions. This is 2 days prior to shooting. She is stepping in as the director and not looking for input from JB. Again, I don't know why that is happening. It just sounds like he's lost control. It really does. It's like, how are you just going to say she's just stepped in as the director now when you're the director? I don't know. 9th of February 2024, production wraps. Justin director's cut period begins. Wayfarer informed by Sony that BL wants time in the edit room to work with JB. 10-week period. Otherwise, she wouldn't stand behind the picture. BL did not show for the first day in the edit with JB. BL joins Justin in the edit one day. Blake was in the edit for only 1 day with Justin, Una and Rob. She did not show for many days thereafter. 8th of March 2024. This is the first screening to friends and family. JB overall score 88%. I mean, I'm really amazed he didn't get 100%. I'm not going to lie. Not an official test screening, only did scorecards and uploaded results here. Shared scorecards with BL directly after screening. BL requests to work on film. Who, BO? Who? Oh, sorry, without JB. Wayfarer agreed to give her 4 days to work through her ideas. BL worked with editors Una and Rob during this period. 22 April. So I remember there was messages between him and the editors, and again, I'm not going to bring them up right now because I didn't get them beforehand, but he was being very hostile towards her in the messages. He was making it very much about us and her, or us and them. Like, we're going to get our bit in. And now when you put that with the previous timeline, it is part of the hostility. It is. Like, he wasn't being nice about it. I just think it's showing real immaturity. And I don't see a good enough explanation of how she was allowed to step in as a director. Like, that does not make sense to me. Is that his version of events? Are we going to hear a different version from her in reality? 28th of March 2024, Justin Baldoni, Denver test screening #1, overall score 70, is it 78% or 70? Yeah, I think it's 78%. One person from BL medium effort team, maximum effort team attended screening. In brackets, ADI. 2nd of May, trailer release. BL threatens to hold up trailer release in order to get more time in the edit. BL would not approve the trailer. We had also wanted to use Taylor Swift's song, and BL threatened to call Taylor and not allow it. Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure that it was BL, Blake Lively, that secured using her best friend's song in the trailer for the movie, and that had a lot to do with the success of the film, because even before you've seen anything about the film, you've got a best-selling book, a New York Times best-selling book by an author who has millions of fans, almost like, I don't want to use the word cult, but she has a bit of a cult following. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in a lot of people really enjoy her books. And you've got the biggest recording artist at the moment doing the trailer song. And you've got Sony marketing and distributing this film. It should be a win. And it was. But you've got Justin acting like the film's going to be a disaster. That's how I see his messages. There is one more that I think I might have saved, where they get a message from, when I say they, I mean Wayfarer, and I think it's around this time. They get a message from Sony. Oh my God, it's so pixelated, it's really hard to read the date, but I think, yeah, it's this date, 2nd of May 2024, Thursday, May 2nd. And it's from, I forget his name, but it's one of the execs at, it could be Josh at Sony. And he says, Jamie, I have redacted on here too. Something has gotten Blake to approve the trailer we want, with our narration, the chair kick, the bruise, etc. And Blake is calling blank to approve the song. She, of course, just reached out saying she is asking for time with, I think her editor's called Shane Reed, her editor. We know it was conditional on signing contract, but asking if you will reconsider. So Redacted can release this trailer and Blake does not change her mind, recalling Redacted. Then we get a message from Jamie Heath saying, I'm available to talk on the phone. Call me if you're free. And then there's another message a bit later on, or actually, I think it says May 7th. But then May 7th, there's nothing really about it on their timeline. So it's another discrepancy. It says, you guys don't want to play ball. You are going to delay and greatly hurt the movie. Good luck. That is only if you want to make this date. We are going to need to push. Finish director cut and we can have multiple previews down the road. So, wait a minute. Let me just... Yeah, that's definitely not while they're still filming. So it must be May. Because I was thinking, is that March? That message to me sounds like he was the one that wasn't cooperating. But in the timeline, he's saying it was all her fault. And I do remember as well, as I've already said, there was another bit of message exchange where she was saying that she couldn't fit the edit time into her schedule due to prior commitments. But he's left that out. He's made it look like she didn't turn up. So I think that a lot has been left out of this timeline. So that people think she took over the movie. Honestly. Oh, there was another one I wanted to read out, actually. So on the 27th of April, which was... So they started editing... Oh, maybe it was in March he sent that message, actually. Sorry, I'm getting messed up. Yeah, they were editing, but they were editing on the 9th of Feb. So yeah, it could have been sent that message in March. It just doesn't get mentioned in the timeline, so it makes it confusing. But yeah, on the 27th of April, I think it is, which was the day before the Denver test. Haven't got to that one yet when he finds out they've blocked him. Oh, I know, it's in blue. It's in blue. It's like a big blue. Oh yeah, it's from Jamie on the 27th of April, 2024. And it says, I'm just going to say this and then go to bed. You were not able to control Blake. I was not able to control Blake. Alex has not been able to control Blake. Ange cannot control Blake. Todd is not been able to control Blake. Her lawyer doesn't control Blake. Her manager doesn't control Blake. Her agent doesn't control Blake. Nobody can control what you cannot control. We stop pointing fingers at everybody else who cannot control the very person that we and no one else can control. We are all in bed with an effing monster, and we are all trying to deal with this monster. This is not because they don't have balls. If that's the case, you didn't have balls. If that's the case, I didn't have balls. It's not as simple as having balls. We are dealing with a monster and everyone is trying to navigate it. And that was from Jamie to Justin. And I'm like, that's really the definition of hostile. I'm really confused. I'm really confused. But it just keeps making me think of what Dale Wheatley said, which is that as directors, or as a director and producer of the film, producers, they have lost control and they're calling her a monster, and it's completely unprofessional. Like, this is an A-list actress who's got you your funding, who's got you, who's put you in a certain category of funding packages, who's got you an A-list song for the trailer of the movie, and you're calling her a monster that you can't control. It's wild. And this seems to be over the issue of her having time to do the edit. And because she wanted to use her own editor, Shane Reed. And then when they start doing the screen tests, she's getting better results than him. May 2nd, 2024. Trailer release. BL threatens to hold up trailer release in order to get more time in the edit. BL would not approve the trailer. We had also wanted to use... Oh, I just read that. So I'm just exhausted of trying to like go back to the message to show that what he's saying in this timeline is not aligning. Then we have on the 3rd of May, Alex shares concern with Jamie that Blake will want directing credit. Speaks to motive for JB and Wayfarer, feeling that we need to protect Justin from unknowable claims Blake might have. Again, this is out of my knowledge realm, but I don't know how she would want to claim a director credit, because surely there has to be like a criteria that's met. And another thing I wanted to say as well that I did think about is when he was bitching about, because she's asked for the edit time, because she can't join me in the edit time I wanted to do it in, that's going to mean that I lose my WGA something or other. Like it's some kind of like, there's so many like regulations and protocols that you have to follow. But again, that's down to planning. That's down to compromise and planning. Like if you're editing with someone else, you've got to make room for their schedule as well as your own, to make sure that you don't not fulfill the obligations of whatever it is, that WGA thing. So, you know, it's like he's just not looking at his own, he's not taking accountability for himself. He's literally pointing the finger. Like Jamie said, they pointed the finger at everyone and they still don't feel happy. It's just so weird. It's just really interesting choice of language. So I'm gonna skip past that because I don't know how that works. But I do remember that Alex had pointed out to Jamie back in the beginning of the shooting in 2023, saying you need to understand that she's directing the film. And he was like, oh no, it's fine, don't worry, we can talk it through. And here we are a year later, and she's saying something about her needing a director credit. So I just feel like they've not been following the very good advice that they were getting by someone who really who knows what they're doing. And I don't know how normal this is either. Like, full disclaimer, I have no idea whether this stuff goes on in other movies or whether this is just like them. But the point is, that's all irrelevant anyway, because what we are looking for is sexual harassment and retaliation, and we can see signs of both of those things. So we're at the influencer event on 6th of May 2024. Trailer launch influencer event at Sony dinner. Colleen, Taryn, Justin, and Jamie after. So that's when he goes for dinner with Colleen. JB divulges to Colin Hoover, all in all caps, the behind-the-scenes drama that went down. Tells her about the sexy comment. He's telling Colin Hoover about this? Both CH and her friend Taryn are empathetic to the situation. That's his version. Colleen calls Brandon Sklenar and divulges details of the dinner CH had with JB. JH and Taryn Fisher to him? Oh. I can't. Colleen calls Brandon Sklenar and divulges details of the dinner CH had with JB. JH and Taryn Fisher to him. We later hear from BLRR that this dinner made her uncomfortable. I'm just going to read a quote that I found from Colleen Hoover. This was recently. Bear in mind, she had to private her Instagram. This is someone who has millions of followers. I'm not sure. Is it millions? She has a lot of followers. A lot of people who respect her and are loyal to her and her products and feel inspired by her. Same way there is about Justin Baldoni. But, you know, she said, I'm just trying to stay removed from the negativity. I have my own story I could tell, but I don't want to bring attention to it. And I don't want to have to put someone else down to lift myself up. So I'd rather just ignore it and let people think and say what they're going to say. There is also text messages between Colleen Hoover and Justin Baldoni where she's saying he didn't get the tattoo right. That she said there's been a whole tattoo designed where it was like an unclosed heart. What else was there? There was quite a few things that she was like saying, you know, she's been trying to not say anything, but there's been a whole load of things that she hasn't been happy about. And that she feels like he's blamed things onto Blake. And that's what she says in the messages. Now, in this timeline, he's saying they went out for dinner and it was all lovely. And then somehow she calls Brandon Sklenar and all of a sudden, Blake and Ryan are saying the dinner made her uncomfortable. So it's not too difficult to work out that Justin has a problem of reading the room. That's what I think. What they said from this document, because bear in mind, this document was sent over. Jamie doesn't admit it, but why else would you send this over to your crisis PR? Why would you even get a crisis PR? Let me check notes. Uncontrollable claims Blake might have. They used this document to take elements of it to put out a narrative that Blake was this person that the resentment and any problems with this film and the narrative should be focused on, her and her husband. So they're trying to make it look like they went for the dinner, it was all fine, and then all of a sudden Colleen's turned on him. But again, knowing absolutely nothing about any of this stuff, it doesn't look like that's the case. And it looks like he has said that she turned everyone against him, but what it looks like is he's the one that's doing that, because he's telling her at the dinner, we had a problem with the sex, with me saying I got called out for saying sexy and the other behind the scenes dramas. And he's assuming that Colleen is going to be like all in with what he's telling her. And obviously she must have thought, okay, that's the last straw now. That might have been the straw that broke the camel's back for her. Anyway, 13th of May 2024, Justin Baldoni, Elisa video test screening number 2. Overall score 86%. 24th of May in New York, BL Friends and Family screening. Overall low score. Overall low score. Her friends and family scored her screening low? Huh? Okay. Doesn't give a percentage. The chart I saw, she was pretty much getting the best feedback scores. Todd Black, Colleen, Bradley Cooper, Ryan Reynolds, Sean Levy, Gigi present. Oh, Gigi Hadid? We didn't find out Colleen Hoover would be there until after Todd Black told Jamie Heath. This was a surprise, as Colleen had no relationship with BL up until this point. Okay, so now he's saying that Colleen's defected. Well, the thing is, Justin, Colleen Hoover is obviously a very intelligent woman who is able to think for herself. So I think the idea that people were trying to get her to behave in a certain way is a bit of a stretch. She didn't have a prior relationship with Blake Lively. Exactly. So why the hell would she suddenly like go all in with her? Maybe it wasn't just her that had a problem with you. Maybe she was thinking this book is supposed to be, I don't want to say posting, being positive about domestic violence, but it was supposed to be uplifting. It was supposed to be about inspiring people. It was supposed to be about dealing with very sensitive and difficult subject matter that women have to go through. And maybe she's thinking, as a survivor herself of abuse, I don't really want to be around this guy. Seems like he's been causing a lot of trouble and he's not cooperating with the financiers, the partners, when I say financiers, because obviously there's Steve Sarowitz, because he likes to remind us how much money he invested in it. But ultimately, this film needed both parties. It's not just about money. This is what Alex Sachs explains. It's not just about money. It's about selling a package. It's about including product placement. It's about getting the right cast. It's about the marketing rollout, which they wanted to make attractive and in line with the book. People have said, oh, well, you know, she was doing this stuff like nail polishes and colouring books. How is that relevant to DV? They do this kind of stuff for every movie. They're not going to change it because of the subject matter, you know. He wanted to do something like to do with shelters, and it's like things like this. They're like they're not something you has they're not something you have as a public opportunity. They're not something that go on show. They're things that are like protected and not concealed, like confidential. You don't start rocking up to a women's shelter and being like, this is where all the abuse victims hang out, I'm just doing my launch here. Like, it was kind of tone deaf, to use their expression, to think of something like that. So That's all I'm going to say on that. 28th of May, Jamie Heath text with Colleen Hoover. Colleen responded to JH and said that she doesn't want to be in the middle and that we should find a way to work together. Professional. BL told Josh she would not do any press with JB. I wonder where let me see if I saved it. Was this where Jen Abel was in on it? Oh, I forgot to mention. On the 10th of November 2023, which is when they sent that protections letter, that was when he first contacted Jennifer Abel and Stephanie Jones and said, hey, sorry for the last minute text, need you both for Zoom. So why would you contact your PR company the same day of getting that letter and ask for a Zoom call? Which, by the way, she was like, you know that Zoom is compromised as a communication tool. And he's like, really? I really don't know whether they are that dumb or they pretend to be that dumb sometimes. What was I looking for again? Oh, 17th of May. That was it. 17th of May. So, yeah. This is just before Colleen attends BL's friends and family screening. There's a message from Jennifer Abel to Justin that says, he blocked you? Is he a 12-year-old girl? Ugh, this kind of behavior is ridiculous. And part of the whole plan to keep chipping away at you because they know you will notice this kind of stuff and then likely acquiesce more to her demands. So again, we've now got Jen Abel who's bought into this, oh, she's such a monster narrative. We can put the plan down on paper and work with Jamie and Ashmi to make sure we have all of the documentation needed of what happened on set, who witnessed what, and who would be our allies to go on background if needed to shut down her claims. And then a timeline of everything Wayfarer did to ensure it was a safe set, etc. We will get through this together. So it really seems like around this time, he's so mad that Ryan Reynolds has blocked him, even though likely that would have been long before that. I think it could have happened the first time he said he fat shamed his wife in January of 2022. That was when they started filming, wasn't it? December. Was it? Yeah, it was January or February. But yeah, it just is so, it's so petty. Oh. I don't know why it only lets me put one comment up on the stage. Ooh. I can see some more chat. Where was I? Who did these women need to tell about Baldoni? Colleen to Brandon, Leslie to Stephanie, Lively to Sony. They keep reporting it. Exactly. And she's talking about allies. I don't think this is going to go well for them when this all comes out. I really don't. And the point is, like, it's obviously him that's putting this whole... It's almost like a military style defense going on. He's rallying the troops. There doesn't seem to be any aggression from the other side. Because why would Colleen become an ally of Blake Lively without even knowing her? Like, if she was finding her to be a problem, I just think she's a bit too sensible to do that. Delana Ellis said he couldn't even meet the requirement of finishing his edit. Exactly. If you read the messages again that he hasn't put in the timeline, it's him that's stressed out about getting the edit finished in time because he can't work with her schedule, which was already prearranged. From the outset of doing this movie, she had other commitments, and they were like, well, if we shoot in this time period and move the location to yours, we can make it work, and then they were really pushy about getting her to sign up. And it's like, the woman's just given birth, or she's just about to give birth, you know. It's like they had no chill on this, and everything was rush. And it's because I know exactly why it is. It's so that they could get the funding package that they needed. They'll never admit that, but the movie business is all about money. I don't think anyone disputes that. I mean, I get that people see it as an art form, and it's about the creative process and all of this, but without money, there ain't no creative process. Even if you get to make the movie, and then that's what Alex Sachs... I learned a lot from watching just one interview with Alex Sachs. She was saying about, you know, when they're shown at the Sundance, like, even then there's films that are shown at Sundance, they still don't have distribution then, some of them. And then you've got like the Rebel Wilson one, where she's gone into meltdown because her film that she hardly worked on wasn't shown at the Toronto festival or whatever it was, because she thought like she could just sit back and then do all the step in when the promotion starts. And that's my reading of Rebel Wilson, but that didn't happen. So then what does she do? She has a flipping hissy fit on Instagram, starts accusing people of all sorts. But that's another video. I agree that Baldoni is pretty mean. I really have given him the benefit of the doubt. I promise you. If anyone doesn't believe me, and by the way, like, I'm not necessarily... I've seen people talking about Team Blake and they're all mad and they're all this and they're all that. I'm not really Team Blake, honestly. I'm just team neutral, but I'm certainly not blind enough to see that Baldoni and the people he has around him that enable his behavior are not responsible for this absolute mess they've got themselves into. This is about not being able to read the room and just deal with the circumstances that you found yourself in. It's unbelievable. And then the whole thing about, like, if you are going to act like this, do it with your chest. Like, I can't believe he has a podcast called Man Enough. And it's like, he can't even own up to his own actions after this mess, which you can see how he's trying to get ahead of it with, let's do a timeline, let's get your allies together. He's then picked a crisis PR company that is literally like the top PR company in that kind of Hollywood scene. Stephanie Jones. Yeah, she's like the big shot. Years of experience, super professional, hasn't been involved in the kind of mess that we've seen going on from the others, telling them it's a really bad idea to go with her, and sending a link of an example of something that she has been exposed. We don't know what it is, it's redacted, but how are you gonna ignore the advice of someone established? This is like Tom Brady's PR. Who else does she look after? I mean, look, I don't really follow all of this stuff, but these are some of the top public figures that we have around in the celebrity world. Melissa Nathan gets the dregs. She does. She deals with crisis PR. So even though she says she has, I mean, Drake is pitiful at the moment, but she's dealing with them when they're coming with a crisis. Stephanie is all about maintaining a public image of someone. So yeah, I'm just like kind of disgusted with his behavior, because he got that message, and then in his deposition he's acting like, I didn't get involved. I told them, like, I didn't want to get involved in anything too dark. Like, I let them take care of it all. You know, I just wanted to protect myself. And it's like, you expect us to believe that after all of this that we've seen? And then the day after you or 2 days after you sign on to this crisis PR, you're sending that Twitter thread about Hailey Bieber being a bully, saying this is what we would need, and you're pretending you didn't know what you've never been in this position before. It was nothing to do with you. It was all in good faith. I'm not buying it. And you call yourself man enough, be man enough to say, yeah, I wanted to bring her down because I didn't like how she was the preferred choice in the edits and the other stuff, the script writing. when I thought my script was perfect as it was, that's how it's coming to me. Like, I swear down. I'm not being biased on either side. I'm just telling it how it is. I didn't know about this guy. but when you watch his content, it's so insincere, it's so phony. And then it's not just what he says on the podcasts, who he's had on the podcasts as well. But even in this, he's just making it so obvious who he really is as a person. And it's misogynist, and it's hate towards a woman, you know, whichever way you look at it. This was not about collaborating with a woman and sharing the spotlight with her. This was about you feeling insecure and paranoid because she'd literally held a mirror up to you and your behavior. Not just her anyway, like everyone. I just have this feeling that he's been used to getting away with this for so long that he couldn't handle, like, he couldn't handle being called out. It was too much for him. It sent him over the edge. And it's like, why are you so bothered whether Ryan Reynolds is following you on was it Twitter or Instagram? Like, it's so petty. You shouldn't be bothering about that stuff. You should be focusing on the job at hand, which is your movie that's about to make a lot of money, 360 million. So we are now at we have got some more. 3rd of June, Una and Rob, original editors, were let go, replaced by BL with Shane Reed. Una called and was very angry about the decision. The day before that, 31st of May, Jamie shares with Alex that despite JB's cut testing higher, BL won't back down and wants her cut to be used. Alex Sachs, asked to link to view BL's cut of the film, told her that everything needs to be approved by, illustrating just how much power she had. It may be true, but this is something that is a result of your prior decisions of 1 year of production. I haven't got any time for it anymore. So yeah, his editors let go. She's crying angry. Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, but I think just putting that in there is just embarrassing for her, to be quite honest with you. 6th of June 2024, BL Torrance test screening number 4, overall score 81%. This cut went back to JB's original cut mostly. So now he's trying to argue that his test scores were higher than hers, I think. BL brings on new composers Rob and Duncan. Brian Tyler, composer, is fired. Is that because they're getting feedback that the music wasn't right? I don't know. I don't think at this point, with given the amount of tension that's obviously going on, I don't think they're just going to fire people for no reason. 13th of June 2024, Book Bonanza. BL, Colleen Hoover, Brandon Sklenar, Isabella Ferrer, Alex Sachs attend Book Bonanza in Texas. Sony was not aware that Brandon and Isabella would attend. This was something that BL personally paid for, their travel and hotel. Well, that's nice of her. after conversation Alex Sachs had with Brandon Sklenar, Alex Sachs informed Todd Black that she would no longer be speaking with Wayfarer. Jamie Heath reached out and she did not respond to any text or calls. Per Todd's conversation with Alex, Todd understood that none of the cast present would be doing any press with JB, Brandon Sklenar, Colleen, Isabella. I mean, I'm not even going to comment because that just says it all. If you want to see what kind of a woman Alex Sachs is, just put her name into YouTube. And one of the last interviews, I think it was a few months ago, they were saying, when are you going to start doing your TikToks again? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna get back to doing them. I wonder why she stopped doing her TikToks. Could it be the same reason that Blake's trainer was getting hate messages to his wife and kids, and Colleen Hoover had to make her account private, and all these other people have had to delete their content? Could it have anything to do with that? To do with the toxic and negative atmosphere that these people created? Josh G speaks to BL about Book Bonanza. Josh G speaks to BL and BL states that she thinks JB should continue to do press and she will take a picture at the premiere, but she did not want to do any press with him. She also told Josh that the younger cast does not know anything, only her inner circle was in the loop on the drama. There you go. So clearly they came to their own they had free will to think for themselves and had their own experiences. 20th of June, BL granted producer credit by Wayfarer and Sony. BL reached out and requesting that she be a named producer on this film. Wayfarer said okay. I'm sure there's another version of events where they say no. Let me see if it's here. I'm sure they said no originally. And then they had to change it, or they had to send the letter. Oh. Oh yeah, here it is. On a different version, it says on the 20th of June, BL granted producer credit by Wayfarer and Sony. BL reached out to JG to demand that that JB and JH write letter to PGA. JH conveyed to JG, Josh Greenstein, that Wayfarer, JH and JB would not be writing a letter to the PGA on her behalf. June 25th, 2024. Jamie Heath reached out to Blake Lively to request a phone call to share feelings about the PGA request and hopefully find some common ground. Isn't that what he does every single time there's a problem? He gets on the phone because he thinks he can sweet talk people. Maybe people just don't want to talk to you anymore, Jamie, because you're just a smarmy slime ball. 27th of June, 2024. JB and Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath send PGA letter on behalf of BL for the PGA mark. You couldn't make it up, could you? Or they can, but... Okay, so then we have on the 7th of July, 2024, coffee table book. And everyone was like, what? There's a coffee table book? Lindsay, that's Blake's lawyer, sent cease and desist letter to Wayfarer re coffee table making of It Ends With Us book. The publisher accidentally included a pic of the back of Blake Lively's stunt double's head on the cover as part of a collage of photos from set. The cover also included Blake Lively's name, now a motion picture starring Blake Lively. She had previously stated that she did not want to be involved. And that's the thing I was going to say before, like, it wouldn't be so bad because, like I said, this could just happen on a lot of films. But what makes it so bad is that he has wanted to portray himself as the opposite of the person that does this stuff. And the fact that it was being shown to him that he wasn't that person is what he was worried about. He is not someone that supports women. He is not someone that creates a safe space where people can be vulnerable. If anyone stands up for themselves, he calls them a monster or accuses them of being that weak that they're manipulated by someone they don't even know. I think having the younger stars at the book launch and the screening was a really good marketing move, and the fact that she paid for it out of her own pocket says a lot. Because I think there was some argument about another argument as well between him and Colleen about donating money to the charity, which he certainly didn't want to do out of his own pocket. We agreed and let the publisher know. The publisher acknowledged that this was a mistake. Oh, yeah, sure. I worked with a publisher fairly recently, and a good publisher is going to give you the opportunity to double check that you have the artwork correct. I don't believe that that was a publisher mistake. Wayfarer provided Blake Lively's lawyer with the interior pages of the book to show that there were no photos of her or mentions of her in the book. Well, who's going to want to buy it then if it's not even got her in it? She's the star. How are you going to make a behind-the-scenes coffee table book and not feature the star? This just shows you how they have so little regard for their audience. 9th of July 2024, Colleen Hoover reached out to Johanna Atria, that's the publishers, to inquire about the book. Atria emails Jamie Heath to let him know they are pulling the coffee table book and won't publish. 10th of July 2024, Roger Ebert interview discussion with Company 3. I looked up Roger Ebert, and apparently it's some like film critic. But he's dead, so I guess it's some legacy thing. Ryan Reynolds calls Patrick Whitesall at William Morris Endeavour. There's no date. Oh, I guess it's still the 10th. So this all happens on the same day. Says unkind things about JB, calls him names. It's just playground. He called me a name. Ryan Reynolds requests to speak to Danny Greenberg, Justin Baldoni's agent. Danny agrees. During the call, Ryan Reynolds calls JB an S predator. Danny does his best to make him see reason. Josh G calls Jamie to let him know BL threatened to not attend premiere if JB goes. JH speaks to Josh to let him know Justin Baldoni, Wayfarer, will be attending. BL team tells Sony that JB needs junket on separate day. This is on the 30th, so... Third of August, crisis PR. Wayfarer officially onboards tag PR firm. Well, we know that they were in conversation on the 31st. Let me just see what other messages I've got quickly. I mean, what other... Oh, okay. So I have one on the 31st of July from Jamie Heath, Tara Hanks, who's the... Is she in marketing? She's an executive or something at Wayfarer. Steph Jones and Jamie Heath. So Stephanie Jones is their long-time established PR. Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Jen, Steph, thank you for your thoughts and observations regarding the path to hiring a crisis manager. They were very valuable in helping us come to a decision. With that, we have decided to bring on Melissa. Justin met with her, and collectively, Tara, Justin, and I feel good with this decision. As such, while I understand there might be feelings, he loves that word, regarding this decision, I know and trust we will all embrace it and work to ensure we all proceed with professionalism. Thanks all. Talk soon. Stephanie's response. Thanks, Jamie. Should we schedule a kickoff call so we can all be aligned with both our Baldoni and Wayfarer team here? We can be helpful in bringing them up to speed. That sounds like someone who is being professional. And also bear in mind, according to the sentiment reports, this is the exact moment that negative online sentiment about BL starts to go into the red. Before that, it's all green. But they say her official onboard was the 3rd of August. But she was sent this on the 31st. And then, let me just double check because I'm at the end. I can't believe it. Okay. See, they change everything. Wayfarer reluctantly agreed to walk the red carpet during separate times and have separate screen signs. For Wayfarer, JB and Blake and the rest of the cast. In main theatre together. Blake Lively and Colleen Hoover gave a speech in theatre and mentioned Wayfarer in speech. I think there's a recording. Sony attends Blake's theatre, so they're in separate theatres. Blake also refused to allow Wayfarer or Justin to attend After Party, which was paid for. Wayfarer and Sony 50-50. Wayfarer compromised and organised its own party with 24-hour notice. Cast and crew were confused by this. Okay, but then again, it's like, that's because of your mess. And that's maybe where the rumours started, isn't it? Some of these people don't even get paid that much. Cast and crew. I don't know what crew, I don't know how much of the crew is invited to the screening, but she's saying it was only her very, very close circle that she'd said anything negative to. And I mean, it probably wasn't even negative. They probably like could see it for themselves. Obviously Ryan Reynolds could, you know, if he's got to be the one to point out that this guy is fat shaming his wife, I mean, he can go and speak to whoever he wants. Okay, we've got one more little note down here. I was wondering as well, like, when he says they had a separate after party, was his the one in the basement where they took the photo and was like, we got locked up in the basement? Because I think someone made the point that those people were all dressed up in their best outfits, his guests, only to be sitting on like water bottle pallets. And it's like, I mean, you couldn't hire a bar or something? I know you don't drink, but a restaurant? I don't know. I'm just going to check through what else I brought as a receipt. Oh, yeah. If you see the, when I was talking about the editing process, it's so blurry. Oh, yeah, that was it. She knowingly infringed on Baldoni's DGA. I called it WGA. Protected, DGA protected editing time. He's just bad at scheduling. That's being generous. You could say he's bad at scheduling, or you could say he deliberately didn't comply so that he could get his editor's version, who ended up getting fired. I've done that one. I've done that one. I've done that one. What was this one? Oh, that was when all the messages started. We're not doing that today. We done that one. So on the 12th of August, Melissa was asking for Danny's email. We've done that one. We've done that one. We've done that one. We're not doing that one. We've done that one. Oh, remember when Jamie Heath was on the plane and he was saying it's going to cost him £9 million to deal with the minefield? Yeah. That's it. That's all I've got for you. Right, the last part of this spreadsheet, there's a note underneath it and it says Blake's... Oh, yes. This is not retaliation, no. This is where they're getting their list of allies together. And it says Reputation. Wait, isn't there a list? Blake's last movie Rhythm Section was reported to have also had difficulties on set, similar to IEWU. There was speculation that Blake took over that movie, and when the movie bombed, she blamed Reed Montana or Morana? Director. Blake has had a number of speculated feuds with cast on her projects, including Anna Kendrick, Leighton Meester. Well, whatever. Whatever, bruv. Honestly, I'm actually so embarrassed for him. Has Anna Kendrick's name come up? I'm trying to remember. Okay, so then we've got name. Oh my gosh, this is all the people that she's supposed to have upset. No, wait. People, it just says. Alex Sachs, producer. Andrea Ajamiar, line producer. Todd Black, producer, brought on per BL's request in phase 2. Ange Janetti, Sony executive. Chris Sargent, first AD during phase 2. Leslie Sloan, Blake publicist. Lizzie Talbot, intimacy coordinator during phase 1. Chelsea Carey, intimacy coordinator during phase 2. Kate Vorhoff, she's had terrible working experience with Blake Lively. I wonder if she's been on Popcorn Planet yet. Joking. Brianna B, Tag Social Team, who used to work for Matthew Hilsig, who's in the Epstein emails. Jennifer Abel, JB and Wayfarer publicist. John Logan Pye, Wayfarer head of physical production. Lisa Rogers, it ends with us, post supervisor. First AD, Alex came in to replace Julie Bloom after she was fired. Okay. I think that's it. I think I'm at the end. We've done it. I don't know how long I was. Ages. 2.5 hours. That's not too bad. I might be taking a break after tonight. You might be pleased to hear. Oops. I managed to. It's so weird how I can only put some of your comments up. I'm in the camp. Blake was recording everything, or an assistant, someone or someone's were informants. They have to be. I really don't think that she would have not protected herself. She's obviously someone that really understands her rights, the rights of others, and how to work within protocols. And as I keep saying, these people are supposed to respect that in women. That's what they've been preaching about. What Scarlett did to Marvel, I don't know what that means. I'm so not up on my movie movie culture information. Ooh. You need to see his version. I don't. Honestly, once this is over, I never want to hear about him again. Honestly, I swear to God, I'm actually sick of his face. Oh my God, I remembered what I wanted to say. I bet no one's still watching it. I just completely forgot to mention when I was talking at the beginning about the fat shaming. His argument about the back, that wasn't mentioned in this timeline. So, yeah. Wonder when they thought of that idea. And does it have anything to do with the fact that he's had some weird spinal procedure done? What is it? Like stem cell therapy. He's had stem cell therapy injections done in his spine, and he is worried about his back. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, everyone. And no, so picky, my screen. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to take a break for a little bit, and I'll be back soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and like and subscribe.